After buying $10,000 of shares in Freelancer, I flew here to Sydney all the way from Croatia, Europe, to ask CEO if my investment is gonna be worth it.
I decided to play it safe and I shouldn't. In a hoodie with my face all crooked. Suckers hate, it's all goody.
Matt, you work for me now. I bought shares in your company and I want to talk about it. So yeah, Matt, finally here in Sydney. I flew all the way over from Croatia. I have a big question. When is my stock gonna go up?
Well, I mean, we're doing some pretty ambitious things here at Freelancers. I'm trying to build a mini Amazon of services here, right? I mean, if you think about the product space, you've got Amazon, $1 trillion company, Alibaba, $1 trillion company. There doesn't exist yet a global marketplace of services, but it seems to me pretty obvious that you're going to end up with a global marketplace of services at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Now, as you probably know, it's significantly harder to build or to deliver a service over the internet than a product. You go to Amazon, you buy a book, the book arrives, you know a book is a book, right? How hard is it to deliver a website over the internet?
Yeah, much harder than that, right?
It is, right? But it can be far more liquid than a book.
How are you planning to sort it out?
Well, what we do in the group, so there's actually 3 companies in the group. You know, you've got Freelancer, which is literally the world's biggest online workforce, right? And you would know because you're top of the pops there. But you know, there's about 76 million people in that marketplace, and literally anywhere there's electricity and there's internet, you can see we have people. So we have the widest range of talent, any location, any skill, you know, any time. But because we've got the widest range of talent, we can do things that like similar to what Amazon's done in terms of having very specialized offerings. So we can have, you know, just like Amazon's got a specialist offering for scientific computing or for government or for what have you, because they've got the widest range of compute resources, they can have the very specialized offerings. We can do the same thing freelance.
Talking about that,
Yeah.
I know that your stock has been a bit stable over the last couple of months. So like me as an investor, I want to know when that's going to go up. You know, what can I expect over the next, like, say, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months?
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things. And it's kind of funny because you're now starting a whole business to do AI agents, right? I think we're about to hit a tsunami of transformation in businesses. Every business in the world is going to transform. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I remember 1994 and I remember 1995. All of a sudden, the internet went mainstream all around the world in Western economies. Everyone went online, and then businesses realized that they could now sell products online through the internet, and to do that they needed a website. So it led to a massive boom in websites being built, small and large. Today, that's a very, very large industry. It's a huge industry building websites, right? I think it's about 30-something% of the work that we do through Freelancer is building a website in one way, shape, or form. Then the next big transformation that happened was after web development was app development, where you had the smartphone race. Yeah. And you had the iPhone came out and Android, and you had this whole revolution with the App Store. But you know, today, app development's I think is about 16% of the work that we do through the site. We're now entering into the third stage, which web development, app development, and the third stage, which I think is going to be bigger than both of those two, is AI development, right? And this is obviously I'd like to hear more about what you're doing with your company, but every business in the world is going to want to transform with AI. And what most businesses don't realize is how easy it is to do so, because you don't need to hire a team of PhDs. Yeah. You simply just need developers to use the APIs
and integrate it into
integrate. Yeah. I'll give you 2 examples of AI agents, and you're probably all over this, but two examples of AI agents that I think are going to be multi-billion-dollar categories, which is simply an AI agent that will answer a phone call and just talk to a customer, give customer support, or an AI agent will answer a phone call, take a booking, check a calendar, set a time, set an appointment, possibly processing a credit card to make a purchase. The technology to do that is available now and is very affordable for a small business.
Yeah, makes sense. And how are you planning to acquire those customers for me, you know, as a freelancer?
Well, where are you going to go to get this stuff done? You're going to go to the same place you get your web development done and the same place you're going to get your app development done. You're going to go to one-man bands. You're going to go to small agencies. You're going to go to large agencies like BrightTalk, or you're going to go to Deloitte, right? And we aggregate all of those service providers in the world's biggest marketplace for doing so, right? the reason why you're going to go to the same place you get your web development done and your app development done to get your AI development done is we've deployed AI agents on Freelancer. And what's amazing about it is there's really two teams that are deploying these AI agents internally with my company. There's the technical team that's kind of just stringing together the APIs and what have you. And then you've got the people formulating the effectively the prompt that describes the role that the AI has to perform. The thing that's become very clear is to have a very authentic experience, you need a lot of domain expertise loaded in from the knowledge of the staff's head. So for a hairdresser to replace someone answering the phones that they currently have on staff to make a booking and what have you, they're not going to want a robot answering the phone. They want someone who can carry on a conversation just like Sue. Then all that knowledge needs to be loaded in. And it's very similar to loading in all the content on a website. Is you need to have all these pages of detailed information on the website, and needs someone who can organize that and put it all together and so forth. So you're going to go to the same place you get your web development done, your app development done, and for your AI development. And this is going to be a gigantic industry because this affects so many job functions. Almost all of customer support will entirely go to AI over the next 12 months to 24 months, right? Whether it's you going to McDonald's and ordering a burger, on a screen or what have you, that's going to be AI driven, or calling, Qantas to book a flight, or a hairdresser, or a restaurant, or a hotel, or buying something. It's all going to go to AI. So it's going to affect all these different job functions within companies, and every business in the world is going to use this. And you're going to come to Freelancer to get it done. And number two is you're going to have this whole tsunami, which is, I think, is going to be a very, very, very large industry, possibly even $1 trillion industry, and developing AI agents for every business in the world to transform all their job functions, right, and turbocharge people. And you're going to come to Freelancer to get it done. We've already seen the volume going through for AI in the last quarter has doubled. It's obviously a low base, but it's coming. I've been through several moments in time in history myself where the world before and after irrevocably changed in the space of a few weeks to months. It was the spawning of the internet, the launch of mobile phones. I remember the world before mobile phones, after mobile phones, and before text messaging, after text messaging, right? The world just changed forever, right? And this is about to happen with AI.
What do you think is the timeline on this? Like, how soon can this happen?
Well, as I said, I said the volumes come through now. Like in the last quarter, AI jobs have doubled. It doesn't take very long before you get to very, very large numbers. But I think it's coming. I think what needs to happen as the catalyst in this space is there needs to be one big demonstrable example of an AI agent, right? So I don't know whether it would be a bank or whether it would be an airline, or someone's going to come out with something really cool very, very soon. And I know you've already got some demos, and I know we've got some demos or what have you. So I think it's imminent. And then on top of all of that, I think solving the problem of how do you build a global marketplace for services, that's $1 trillion problem. Trillion with a T, not a billion. $1 trillion problem. Because in the product space, you have Amazon and you have Alibaba, and they're $1 trillion companies. And the services space is actually bigger than the product space because we use the money that we generate from the services we deliver in order to buy the products, right? So the services space is actually a bigger market than the product space. But it's obvious there's going to be a global marketplace of services. And that's going to be the size and shape of an Amazon or Alibaba. And we have the largest workforce in the world to be able to do that.
How confident are you that you can be the one, taking that?
So it has with any business, it's never a rocket ship to the moon, right? I think Elon Musk said it best that being an entrepreneur is like crawling through broken glass on your hands and knees, staring into the abyss. Sometimes you're top of the world, and then sometimes you're whatever. So we see, particularly with this whole AI revolution and so on, the customer acquisition side is actually doing really, really well.
I saw some charts.
I think I reported last quarter that it's up about high 20% year on year. So everyone's kind of back to work. I think we've had the US elections now. It's a new age of building things and making things, and Elon Musk building rockets, ships, and and electric cars and everything else. I think everyone's going to get excited to actually go out there and have the golden age of industry and build something, right? And where do you go to build something? You come to freelancer because we're the world's largest startup garage. But you need to solve some problems that no one's solved yet, right? Yeah. And the problems that we're trying to solve are it's very easy on a freelancer to post a job. Mm-hmm. And I know you use it as a client and you build a business with freelancers and so on. It's very easy to find people. In fact, nowhere else in the world has the liquidity or the ease of finding anyone. But it's hard to manage people. Mm-hmm. So, I can hire one web developer, that's easy. I can hire 2, that's easy. I can hire 20, that's easy. But managing 20 web developers at the same time, that's hard, right? Yeah. So the more you hire people, the more you place a burden on yourself. So you got to have really good collaborative tools. You got to have really good project management tools. You got to have managed services that help you get the job done. Yeah. And with things like AI now, you take a very computationally intractable problem of how do you manage all these different projects and different industries, whatever, at the same time. And AI makes it really easy to do so because it's very good at taking unstructured data and making structure out of it. I think that's on the freelancer side. We're really heading into a golden age of building and freelancers' place to get it done. And then what people might not know about what we do is there's actually 3 businesses in the group. We're in not just labour, where we have the world's largest online labour force. Mm-hmm. We're in payments. We have the world's largest online escrow company, which is for secure payments or complex payments. And then we have a heavy haulage freight company. So we're in labour payments freight, which are all things that businesses need. And that's all part of the group. And those businesses are doing pretty well. Then you've got all this stuff happening around the world with AI and this at the other end. It's just crazy time. So I think you'll be very happy with your investment.
So my final question is that the audience wants to know, if you need to pessimistically guess, where is the cap? How big this can become, or how big this can be? Well,
it's literally. I think there's $1 trillion problem in building a global marketplace of services that I think we're probably one of the most advanced companies in the world in terms of figuring out how to solve that. So how do you effectively manage people online at scale for a company, for a business, and everyday usage, right? Small business or large business. I think we're the most advanced in the world in that, and that's $1 trillion opportunity. Mm-hmm. I also think there's $1 trillion opportunity probably in just AI services alone being delivered, because I just think this is going to be the biggest transformation in history, I think, of business. And then on top of that, 11% of retail sales is e-commerce. That's online. Yep. Most of large value transactions are not done, through the internet. So, for example, I think the world's ready to buy a car through the internet completely, and we've actually built from end to end. I don't know if I've shown you, I can show you, but we've built from end to end the complete flow to buy your car from a phone, including finding a car, getting a loan, getting pre-approved for a loan from a marketplace of finance providers, to offering, to negotiating, to closing, title transfer, all the documents uploaded, and car delivered completely through your phone. And that's going to happen in a whole bunch of different other asset classes. Yeah. I think we're almost at the point where you're going to be able to buy a house completely online. Now, you're not going to use PayPal to buy a car or buy a house, but you'll use escrow to do that. So we're solving that problem. And then we've got effectively freelancer for freight with Loadshift, where we've done 800 million kilometers of freight, and we're going to expand that all around the world. And so I think these 3 businesses are huge within their own right.
So effectively, there is no cap, yeah.
Well, I think it requires a lot of execution, right? And you got to get it right, and it's never going to be a straight line up. But ultimately, I could see some business in the freelancing space alone is going to end up being $1 trillion business. And if it's not us, they're going to come knocking at our doors to buy us, because we've got the biggest workforce in the world. It's impossible to replicate. And then on top of that, you've got the AI stuff, then you've got the escrow stuff, and you've got what have you. I think there's a very, very, in terms of where it could be a very, very, very large company. Yeah. Very, very large company.
Thanks a lot for this. I'm actually thinking about buying some more shares myself. And if you're thinking about buying some shares or just asking any questions like Matt, myself, write it down in the comments and we are going to reply as soon as possible. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, and speak soon.